mean, I pulled up and I could see him, and, you know, I knew something was bad. I ran out. I knew it was really bad. My boy over there, I could see it was...
I'm so sorry.
And I could see his brain on his... And I ran over to Maggie, and actually, I think I tried to turn Paul over first. You know, I tried to turn him over, and I don't know, I figured it out. His cell phone popped out of his pocket. I started to try to do something with it, thinking maybe, but then I put it back down really quickly. Then I went to my wife, and I mean, I could see.
Did you touch Maggie at all?
I did. I touched them both.
Okay.
I tried to take, I tried to do it as limited as possible, but I tried to take their pulse on both of them.
Is there anybody that you can think of that we need to talk to tonight? Is there a name that comes to mind?
I mean, I can't tell you anybody that I'm overly suspicious of off the top of my head.
Okay.
You know? I mean, this is such a stupid thing. I'm even embarrassed to say it. But it just didn't make any sense. I just hired a guy out here, and he wasn't cutting the mustard, but I hadn't told him this yet. Paul's been working with him a lot. He killed the sunflower seeds in our dove field just recently, which is why Paul was here doing this. He told Paul a story the other day about how when he was in high school, he got in a fight with some black guys. And the FBI undercover team observed him fighting those guys and put him on an undercover team with 3 Navy SEALs. And that their job was to kill radical Black Panthers. And they did that from Myrtle Beach to Savannah. Now, I really don't think this guy, you know, is probably the person, but that's just so friggin'.
Yeah, that's kind of far-fetched story.
It's weird, but he was off today.
Okay.
He took his daddy to the doctor.
What's his name?
CB Rowe.
Have y'all been having any problems out here? Trespassers, people breaking in?
None that I know of. The only thing what comes to my mind is my son Paul was in a boat wreck a couple years ago, and there's been he was charged with being arrested for being the driver. There's been a lot of negative publicity about that, and there's been a lot of people online, just really vile stuff. But when Paul's out and about, I mean, people routinely, I don't think I know the full story, because I don't think they give it to me, but I mean, he's been punched and hit and just attacked a lot.
All right, still with me, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Franz Borghardt. And Franz, you know, first and foremost, he's an attorney. It always surprises me when people in general, but especially attorneys, don't follow the cardinal rule and don't talk to police. But I guess under these circumstances, in the situation that he is presumably in, I guess you can understand it.
Well, you know, he didn't have much of a choice, right? So if he would have said, I don't want to talk to you guys, then he immediately becomes a suspect, right? Even though he has a constitutional right to remain silent. And what we get some good nuggets for him, which is I tried to touch them as little as possible. You heard him say that, right? Which may be something the defense uses to address the blood on the clothes. On the other hand, Michael, what we get is it was the radical Black Panthers in the library with the candlestick holder that may have done the murder, which is so ridiculous that it's just like, I don't even know what to say. Now, here's the thing. What would anybody, let's assume that he didn't do it for a second. What would be anybody in his position, if he really didn't do it and he encountered what he encountered, what would be their demeanor? What would be the things they would say? Would they be saying ridiculous things? Possibly. I just don't know. I don't know about everything I'm seeing here. I don't know that this helps him as much as it hurts him.
Yeah, no one knows what you say under those circumstances. That's part of the problem. We're going to sit here and pick this thing apart. We don't know what you would say. You don't know what's running through your mind. One of the things, obviously, running through his mind is that boat accident. We heard it again. It was the first thing out of his mouth when the first responders came. And it took a while to get to it during this particular interview, but he goes to it again. And here's my question about that. That's the part that I think possibly could be helpful to defense. Only because they don't necessarily have to develop that very much, but it's out there. And it's a good story. And it gives them, inadvertently, something to think about. When I say them, I mean the jury, something to think about the possibilities of what else could have happened here.
So the best part of this for the defense is this is their client testifying without testifying, right? He doesn't have to get on the stand, although he might not be able to resist, Michael, but he doesn't have to get on the stand. He's provided through his own mouth alternative theories of reasonable doubt that the jury might be able to sink its teeth in if developed by the defense. So that is a positive, right? The negative is the jury's going to watch these videos and then watch his courtroom demeanor and see if those two emotional reactions align. And if they don't align, he has a problem.
Yeah, and you know they're watching him, because we all are. I mean, it's the natural reaction. But you threw up a softball. I got to knock it out the park here. You said he may not be able to resist testifying. There's no way. You think he's testifying in this case?
So remember, we've talked about this in the past, Michael. The only decision that the client gets to make, regardless of no matter how much I'm begging and pleading for them not to testify, is they get the right to stand against my advice. Now, sometimes in certain cases, we tell them, hey, you should testify. I think it's a good idea. And we work on it, and we work on it, and work on it. But some clients, Michael, especially clients that are lawyers, they just can't help themselves, even in the face of good advice from counsel. Now, look, he has a really good defense attorney who's doing some good legwork right now. So maybe it's something that they've talked about and he's convinced him not to do it. He doesn't need to do it. I think there's reasonable doubt here if the jury wants to find it. And I think he gets on the stand, he's only going to hurt himself.
Yeah, I have to agree. But I go back to the arraignment where he gets up and he says, I'm going to defend myself in front of God and country. Like you said, just the persona of this guy suggests there's a little nugget there that he may want to get on the stand and tell his